Aja Wilson was supposed to have one of the biggest nights of her career, her jersey retirement, a moment every athlete dreams of. But instead of celebrating, she was left watching as Caitlin Clark completely stole the spotlight. And let's be real, Aja Wilson is not happy about it. Fans had a choice. Watch Aja Wilson's historic night or tune in to Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement. And guess what? They didn't just choose Clark, they made it a record-breaking event. The viewership, the ticket prices, the hype, it was all about Caitlin Clark, and it wasn't even close. Now, the big question is, why did this happen? Why is a player who hasn't even stepped foot in the WNBA yet already bigger than a two-time MVP? Why did Clark's retirement completely overshadow Wilson's? And most importantly, is this just the beginning of Caitlin Clark taking over women's basketball? Aja Wilson is frustrated, the fans are talking, and the internet is absolutely on fire over this. Let's break it all down and get into why Caitlin Clark is officially the biggest name in women's basketball and why some people are not happy about it. But before we jump into the good stuff, take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. By joining our crew, you'll always be in the loop with the latest WNBA updates, expert takes, and breakdowns of big moves just like this. Don't miss out, we've got every angle covered. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive right in. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement wasn't just another ceremony, it was a massive event. The demand for tickets was so high that people were shelling out thousands of dollars just to be in the building. It wasn't just about honoring her, it was about witnessing history. Fans didn't just want to be there, they needed to be there. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson's ceremony, South Carolina literally had to give away free tickets to get people to show up. That's a rough look and tells you everything you need to know about the difference in star power.
Why would Caitlin Clark not consider Aja Wilson in her retirement? We don't think that it's fair.
Clark isn't just a star, she's a full-blown cultural movement. Her games consistently break viewership records, often drawing more eyes than entire WNBA playoff series. People don't just watch her, they are emotionally invested in her story, her career, and every single game she plays. It's not just her skill, it's her aura, her attitude, her relentless drive that keeps fans glued to their screens. Her deep threes, her confidence, her ability to take over games at any moment, these are the things that make her a must-watch sensation. Wilson, despite being a dominant force in the WNBA, has never commanded the same level of widespread attention or emotional investment from the audience.
Like this guy, he says, one brought a chip to their program and made it into a powerhouse and top destination for future recruits. The other is Caitlin Clark.
The truth is, Caitlin Clark makes basketball electrifying. She brings a level of excitement that feels like watching Steph Curry in his prime limitless range, fearless shooting, and the ability to turn a game into a spectacle. Even neutral fans, people who never cared about women's basketball before, are tuning in to see what she's going to do next. That kind of star power is rare, and it's something Wilson, for all her talent, has never fully been able to replicate.
It was a sellout crowd, not a shocker. I think it was like at almost 15,000, if not at 15,000 people, and the tickets were pretty expensive.
Let's put this into even greater perspective. Clark hasn't even played a professional game yet, and she's already generating bigger numbers than most WNBA matchups combined. That's not just unusual, that's groundbreaking. Clark has single-handedly transformed the way people perceive women's basketball, bringing a level of attention and engagement that the sport has never seen before. And the scary part? She's only getting started.
So Aja Wilson, okay, she would have her jersey retired on February 2nd, okay, be technical, okay, technically speaking. Hers was first announced on February 2nd.
Aja Wilson has worked incredibly hard to get where she is. She's a two-time MVP, a WNBA champion, and one of the most dominant players in the league. She's been a consistent force on the court, proving time and time again that she belongs among the best. But despite all of this, she hasn't received the same level of public recognition that Caitlin Clark is getting, and that has to be frustrating. Wilson has been vocal about the lack of attention the WNBA receives, advocating for more respect and media coverage. But now, with Caitlin Clark pulling in record-breaking numbers, there's an entirely new frustration. Clark isn't just getting attention, she's dominating the conversation. Her games are drawing in massive viewership. Her jersey sales are through the roof, and the media can't stop talking about her. It's as if Wilson's years of hard work are being overshadowed overnight by a player who hasn't even played a professional game yet.
Indiana already feeling the Caitlin Clark effect. ticket sales and prices already off the charts. Her jersey selling out within an hour after the Fever drafted her.
From Wilson's perspective, it must feel unfair. She has done everything right, won championships, played at the highest level, and cemented herself as a superstar. Yet she has never had this level of mainstream support. It has to sting to see the spotlight, which she has fought so hard to get for women's basketball, shining so brightly on Clark, while her own accolades are overlooked. And the timing couldn't be worse on a night that was supposed to be about Wilson's jersey retirement. Clark's moment completely overshadowed hers. That has to hurt. But here's the tough reality. Sports aren't just about talent. They're about storytelling. Fans don't just watch athletes because they're good. They watch because they feel connected to them. They follow players who bring energy, excitement, and something unique to the game. Caitlin Clark has that it factor that captivates audiences. Her deep-range shooting, her fearless attitude, and her passion on the court make her the kind of player that people want to root for. She's become a phenomenon, and that's why her name is everywhere. Wilson, for all her success, hasn't built that same level of emotional connection with the broader sports audience. And that's why Clark's event dominated the headlines while Wilson's was an afterthought. It's not that Wilson isn't great, it's that Clark has captured something bigger. She has managed to draw in casual fans, people who may have never watched women's basketball before, but are now tuning in just to see her play. The truth is, people respect A'ja Wilson. She's earned every bit of it. But when it comes to generating widespread excitement and bringing in new fans, Clark is in a different league right now. If Wilson wants to match that energy, she needs to find a way to engage fans beyond just her performance on the court. Because right now, Caitlin Clark isn't just winning games, she's winning the hearts of an entire new generation of basketball fans.
I'm pretty overwhelmed right now, but there's just a lot of people to thank. First of all, my teammates, I wouldn't be here without any of you. And a lot of you came back, you have busy schedules, and I think that just speaks to the culture of this place.
Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark is already the face of women's basketball, and she hasn't even played a WNBA game yet. That's how much influence she has. Her presence alone has changed everything for the sport, bringing it to a level of visibility it has never seen before.
Like, I've said this before, I feel like one of my greatest skills is I really don't care. I don't care. I believe in myself, I'm confident in myself.
Before she even steps onto a WNBA court, she's already selling out arenas, setting viewership records, and getting mainstream media coverage that even some of the biggest NBA stars struggle to achieve. She's a phenomenon, a movement, and the kind of generational talent that doesn't just play basketball, but changes it. And the best part? She genuinely embraces the role, connecting with fans, showing gratitude, and understanding the responsibility that comes with being the biggest name in the sport.
Guys, everyone was back for Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement. And everyone was there. It was ridiculous.
Meanwhile, A'ja Wilson, despite being a WNBA legend in her own right, doesn't command the same level of mainstream recognition. That's a tough pill to swallow for someone who has dedicated years to dominating the WNBA, winning championships, and setting records of her own. She has put in the work, she's one of the most skilled players in the game, and yet the casual sports fan doesn't follow her story the way they do Clark's. That has to be frustrating. But here's the thing, Clark's rise doesn't diminish Wilson's greatness. The way the game is evolving, it's not about choosing one player over the other. It's about recognizing that Caitlin Clark is bringing a tidal wave of new attention to women's basketball. And rather than competing against it, Wilson and other WNBA stars have an opportunity to ride that wave and use it to elevate the entire league. Imagine what happens when Clark finally enters the WNBA. She's going to bring in millions of new fans, people who have never watched a WNBA game before. That means more money, higher ratings, bigger endorsement deals, and an overall boost for every player in the league, including Wilson. Rather than seeing Clark's meteoric rise as a threat, it should be seen as a turning point for women's basketball as a whole. The real winners in all of this? Women's basketball fans, because with all this newfound attention, excitement, and drama, the sport is reaching heights that were once thought impossible. And at the end of the day, that's what matters most. Caitlin Clark's jersey retirement wasn't just another ceremony, it was a massive event. The demand for tickets was so high that people were shelling out thousands of dollars just to be in the building. It wasn't just about honoring her, it was about witnessing history. Fans didn't just want to be there, they needed to be there. Meanwhile, Aja Wilson's ceremony, South Carolina literally had to give away free tickets to get people to show up. That's a rough look and tells you everything you need to know about the difference in star power.
And my favorite part about all this is that it's on the same day as the Aja Wilson jersey retirement. It cost $64.
Clark isn't just a star, she's a full-blown cultural movement. Her games consistently break viewership records, often drawing more eyes than entire WNBA playoff series. People don't just watch her, they are emotionally invested in her story, her career, and every single game she plays. It's not just her skill, it's her aura, her attitude, her relentless drive that keeps fans glued to their screens. Her deep threes, her confidence, her ability to take over games at any moment, these are the things that make her a must-watch sensation. Wilson, despite being a dominant force in the WNBA, has never commanded the same level of widespread attention or emotional investment from the audience.
5 years old when you decided on number 22, as the story goes. If we were to tell that 5-year-old what today was going to be.
The truth is, Caitlin Clark makes basketball electrifying. She brings a level of excitement that feels like watching Steph Curry in his prime limitless range, fearless shooting, and the ability to turn a game into a spectacle. Even neutral fans, people who never cared about women's basketball before, are tuning in to see what she's going to do next. That kind of star power is rare, and it's something Wilson, for all her talent, has never fully been able to replicate.
What's so incredible about Caitlin is, I said it often, very few people can deliver every night.
Let's put this into even greater perspective. Clark hasn't even played a professional game yet, and she's already generating bigger numbers than most WNBA matchups combined. That's not just unusual, that's groundbreaking. Clark has single-handedly transformed the way people perceive women's basketball, bringing a level of attention and engagement that the sport has never seen before.
22 to the top of the building. There will never be another basketball player like Caitlin Clark. There will never be another 22 worn by an Iowa Hawkeye basketball player.
And the scary part? She's only getting started. Wow, what a wild situation. Aja Wilson deserved a legendary night, but Caitlin Clark's star power. Wow, this whole situation is just crazy. Aja Wilson should have had one of the biggest nights of her career, but instead, all the attention was on Caitlin Clark. That just shows how much power Clark has in women's basketball right now. But is that fair? Should Wilson be getting more respect, or is this just the way the game is changing? I know you have thoughts on this, and I want to hear them. Drop a comment down below and let me know, was this just bad timing for Aja Wilson? Or is Caitlin Clark really taking over women's basketball in a way no one else can? Is this a good thing for the WNBA? Or do we need to give more love to players like Wilson? Let's talk about it. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're always breaking down the biggest moments in basketball, covering the latest drama, and bringing you the best expert takes. So if you love the game, you're in the right place. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.